Yesterday, we knew President Biden would be asking Congress to fund a sweeping aid package aimed at keeping Ukraine in the fight against Russia for at least the next 5 months. We just didn't know how much he would be asking for. We heard from the president proposing $33 billion in military, economic, and humanitarian assistance. It's more than double the size of the nearly depleted $13.6 billion aid package approved last month. The president announced his proposal by acknowledging, quote, the cost of this fight is not cheap.
We either back Ukrainian people as they defend their country, or we stand by as the Russians continue their atrocities and aggression in Ukraine. Every day, the Ukrainians pay for the price, and the price they pay is with their lives for this fight. So we need to contribute arms, funding, ammunition, and the economic support to make their courage and sacrifice have purpose so they can continue this fight and do what they're doing. It's critical this funding gets approved and approved as quickly as possible.
The president also asked Congress to enhance U.S. authority to liquidate the assets of sanctioned Russian oligarchs to then donate to Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky recorded a thank you video saying he is grateful to the American people. He also urged Congress to pass the measure quickly. However, the funding could hit a snag if Senate Democrats try to link it to a COVID funding bill. Both measures have bipartisan support, but Republicans hoping to add Title 42 immigration amendments to the COVID funding. And listen, there's a couple of things going on here, Joe,
right.
But as surprising as the number is that the president proposed, is as surprising as the Ukrainians' ability to fight has been.
Well, it's worked together. We look at the bravery of the Ukrainians. You look at the support from the United States, from Germany, from our other allies. It's working in tandem. I mean, it's one thing is following another. Yes, the Ukrainians are getting just billions and billions of dollars in support from the United States and the allies. But they wouldn't be getting that support if they weren't fighting so extraordinarily well and showing such bravery and resilience. And the opposite of that is true as well, Willie. And you look at the numbers that we have been sending their way. $33 billion here. Of course, before that, $13.6 billion. We're up, we're up close to $50 billion. I know during the Lend-Lease Act during World War II, the United States gave $11 billion to Britain to fight Nazi Germany. Of course, those were in 1940 dollars. So far more than that. But still, as Admiral Stavridis said yesterday, we are moving into Lend-Lease territory right now. This is historic, and it was good to see President Zelensky yesterday grateful for that money, believing that it has, that he has a better chance now to push the Russians even further back.
Yeah, we heard yesterday morning before President Biden made the announcement that the package was going to be, quote, massive. And boy, was that right. $33 billion. And as Mika pointed out, a lot of it is military assistance, but it's also funding their treasury, keeping their government going. It's humanitarian assistance. It's food. It's medicine. It's all the things that Ukraine has been asking for in one basket. And you're right. President Zelensky has been pleading for more and more and more. And we understand his urgency. And he's getting it. Just flat out, he's getting it from the United States. And as you say, America is betting now on Ukraine to win this war. That's what all this investment is. We heard the rhetoric from Defense Secretary Austin a couple of days ago, much stronger than we've heard maybe in the last decade or two toward Russia, saying we want to weaken their capacity to fight. We want to weaken their military. And this is all an investment in doing just that. We've got with us this morning former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor, U.S. Special Correspondent for BBC News, Caddy K, and host of Way Too Early and White House Bureau Chief at Politico, Jonathan Lemire. Ambassador Taylor, let me start with you on this package, $33 billion. Were even you surprised by the size and scope of this? And what will this do in terms of perhaps turning the tide of the war?
Well, I hope it does turn the tide of the war. The key thing now is how quickly this money can be turned into weapons, can be gotten to the Ukrainians. The United States and NATO have been doing a great job of getting these weapons out of inventories, currently in inventories, most of it in Europe, some in the United States, getting on aircraft, flying to Europe. What we have to do now is translate this new money, which is massive, you're exactly right, into weapons. It can't be new contracts. It has to be inventories. It has to be weapons that are already in our hands to get them into the Ukrainian hands. So that will be the key factor.
It's Kenny K. It really is. It's pretty incredible the amount of money that's going in there. We've heard from the very beginning that it might not be a fair fight, that the Russians greatly outnumber the Ukrainians. In fact, we were told it wouldn't be a fair fight from the beginning. But with this aid package, General Barry McCaffrey believes that we may just now be moving towards a battle where these two sides could fight even.
Yeah, last week, Joe, I had a conversation with a White House official who said, look, we could be getting to the point where the Ukrainian army is as well supplied as the Russian army, just because the West is pumping so much money and so much material into the Ukrainians. There has been a shift, with the Americans now saying very bluntly that they want the Ukrainians to win the war, that they want to see Russia weaken. Something, by the way, which Boris Johnson has been saying for the last month or so, that Russia must be weakened never so that they can do this again. Yet Chris Coons on the program yesterday saying that it's time that the Ukrainians should be able to win as the Ukrainians define it. And I think that's very important, as the Ukrainians define it, i.e. what the Ukrainians define as winning is getting Russia right out of Ukraine, not ceding any territory at all. In order for them to be able to do that, they have to have a huge amount of weaponry still supplied, not just now, but for the weeks to come, potentially for the months to come, from the West. And that's what America is now doing. You and I have spoken about this before, about whether there's frustration in the White House at a kind of lack of gratitude from the Ukrainians. My understanding from the Pentagon and the White House is that there has been some, but it doesn't last for very long. And, everybody on the same page in Washington. Zelensky is fighting for his life. You can't really criticize him. One person said it to me, morally or actually. He is doing what he needs to do. And the White House also recognizes that the package is this big, in part because the Ukrainians have asked so forcefully and so bluntly for it to be this big. It's gone this fast because the Ukrainians have pushed as hard as they can. And that's really all up to the Zelensky and the job that he has done in rallying the West and rallying American money too.